Another problem that we looked at is the problem where you have 3 boxes of socks, one labeled red, one labeled green, one labeled red-green mixed. Now red-green mixed doesn't mean you have red socks and green socks mixed. It means every sock is red and green. And you want to relabel these boxes so that they're correct. And how can you do that then? Based on selecting one sock out of one box. Well, somebody suggests, well, okay, pick a sock out of the green box and see what you can figure out. Well, okay, if we pick a sock out of the box that's labeled green, all the boxes are labeled wrong, so we know this isn't green, so it's either red or it's mixed. Now, if it's red, then what? Well, then here are our 3 boxes again. This one can't be red, this one can't be red-green, because, of course, every box is labeled incorrectly. But we know then that this one is red. Now, knowing that this one is red, what can we conclude about the one that was labeled red? Well, it's not red. It's either green or it's mixed. We don't know which. It could be either. What about the one labeled red-green? Okay, well, it's not mixed, and it's not red because we just figured out we had a red sock here. Well, if it's not mixed and it's not red, then it's green. I'll put a circle around the green to indicate that. And then I came over here and said, well, this one can't be green because this one is, so cross this out. So this one has to be mixed, green-red. So if you pull a red out of the box labeled green, you know what the labelings are. If you then, on the other hand, pick a mixed sock out of that box, what do you conclude? Well, here are your 3 boxes. Okay, this one can't be red, this one can't be red-green, but you picked a mixed sock out of here, so this one is red-green. Okay, well, this one's red-green, so this one is either green or red. We don't immediately know which. But what about this one? It's labeled red, so it can't be red. It can't be red-green because we just picked red-green. And it then has to be green. Now, if this is green and this is red-green, then this one has to be red. And we should maybe go ahead and put a circle around that to indicate it. So, you see, the strategy is make some choice and see if you can figure everything out. If choosing a sock out of the green didn't work, well, then choosing a sock out of red might, but really choosing a red is logically the same as choosing a green. If choosing green hadn't worked, you'd have to ask yourself what happens if you start with a red-green. And you probably ought to work that out and see if, starting with the red-green, you can draw any conclusions. Yeah, maybe using a similar diagram, maybe using some other form of reasoning.